Hello and welcome to Generation 5 of our Decades Legacy Challenge. We have entered into the generation of Siobhan. She won the vote and she is now the generation that we are going to be playing for the Decades Legacy, and she is our heir to the generation of Generation 5. So as you can see, we are here with Siobhan. She is not looking very happy, but we are going to continue on with her story. She is now living in Mount Komorebi, and she is pregnant. As you can see, she is with her husband Dean, and they are living here in Mount Komorebi, and she is hoping that she is going to be able to go ahead and learn about her ancestral home. But she is currently quite frustrated, as you can see, and we are just having a bad day because she is not okay from being a teen. And she is also in an unwanted pregnancy in her second trimester, heading into her third trimester. She is currently just going ahead and fixing herself something to eat here. But she's having a really, really rough time dealing with all of the emotions that she's currently feeling, because as we know, she is not necessarily happy about this pregnancy that she's currently in. It was not necessarily something that she definitely wanted. They were not expecting this pregnancy. Her and Dean both are a little bit upset about this news. They are smitten with one another. They're deeply in love, and they are definitely happy that they're together and that they're married. But they definitely were shocked about the news of this pregnancy. The pregnancy is the reason they went ahead and got married. So they probably would not have gotten married quite this young if it weren't for the baby, but they did marry because of this pregnancy. And because Siobhan didn't want people talking about her, she wanted to look out for her reputation, so she went ahead and eloped and got married. Yes, she does love Dean very, very much. She is deeply in love with him, but she definitely wouldn't have gone ahead and gotten married quite this young if it weren't for the fact that she was pregnant. But she is definitely not wanting this pregnancy, but she does feel like she needs to go ahead and go forward with the pregnancy nonetheless. Just because she feels that it's the right thing to do. And so she is trying to deal with those feelings, and she has decided that she's going to go ahead and go to counseling for the pregnancy, and she's going to try to deal with that kind of through talk therapy and things like that. So we are going to be sending her to counseling for the pregnancy to see if we can go ahead and get her on board with this pregnancy, and so we love that for her. So she is going to be doing that. It also did let us know that she is needing a psych evaluation because she is kind of dealing with some mental health issues. So we'll be sending her and Dean both for a psych evaluation to see what it is that's troubling them. And so we will go ahead and send them both to the doctor for that and figure out what's going on. But for now, they are just having a little bit of a conversation. She's having some relationship fears right now, and I think that's just because she is young and she is not at all used to obviously being married, and she's not really sure what a marriage is supposed to be. Obviously he doesn't either. They are definitely in new territorial waters that they're unsure of, but she is just kind of telling him like, look, I don't really know what I'm doing here, and I am worried that you're going to leave me. And he's like, I'm not going anywhere. I am deeply in love with you, and you have nothing to worry about. So he is just trying to calm her down a little bit. And it says that she made some progress on her fear, but that she definitely needs to go ahead and keep talking about this with him so that they can make more progress on it, because obviously she has only, basically hit the tip of the iceberg here, and she still has more fears that she needs to calm when it comes to her relationship fears. So we will have her continue to talk those relationship fears over with him as time goes on. But I am going to go ahead and send her to the youth development services so that she can go ahead and have her initial psych evaluation here. And it is just a consultation exam, and we'll see what is troubling her. And I will also send Dean for his and have him have his evaluation as well, so that we can figure out what's going on with both of them. And it looks like she has been diagnosed with OCD, and they are wanting her to take some medication and some therapy treatments, so some talk therapy for her to help her with her OCD. which is going to be perfectly fine. We'll go ahead and sign her up for therapy and medication and get her all signed up for that. And hopefully that will help her feel a little bit better. And then she will do much better with that. And it looks like he has been diagnosed with I can't pronounce that, but it's a learning disability, and they are going to obviously be helping him with that through therapy as well. So we'll sign him up for that. I think it was dysgraphia, I believe is how you say that. So they are going to obviously be helping him with his learning disability as well. So both of them have been helped out with that, and we love that. She is really, really struggling here currently. It does say here that they have gotten the soulmate thing. So they are soulmates. So they are really, really happy in their relationship. Obviously, they are thriving in their relationship, but she is just really, really struggling when it comes to this pregnancy. And she is hoping that, you know, with some counseling that she is going to get better. I am planning to send her to maybe go to like a birthing class or a couple of things to maybe get her on board with this pregnancy. I'm hoping that she can get on board with the pregnancy obviously before the baby gets here. If for whatever reason we aren't able to get her to make peace with this pregnancy before the baby gets here, hopefully she will go ahead and be able to make peace with the baby once the baby is here. But ideally, we would like for her to make peace with the pregnancy before she has the baby, because I do want her to be happy that the baby is here and not be upset that the baby is here. And I am hoping that Dean will kind of come around and get on board as well, but I don't know. I think it's going to be a little bit more difficult for him to get on board than it is for her to get on board. Just because he's not the one that's carrying the baby. She's going to have a little bit better odds at being able to accept the pregnancy than he is. I'm just looking here at their profile. It does show that they have good compatibility. They're jokesters and soulmates. They are perceived as very attractive, and they are deeply in love. He has an adoring sentiment about her, and you can see that she is deeply in love with him as well. So they have a really good panel here together, as you can see, and I am loving that for them. But she is currently back from her little class there about the pregnancy, and I think that maybe helped her a little bit, but clearly it hasn't helped her quite enough. She is still going to need a little bit more help in that department, but I think that little course did help her. The pregnancy class did help her at least come to terms a little bit with the fact that she is, you know, having this baby, and, you know, what to at least expect when it comes to what it's going to be like having a child. And she's like, I don't know that I'm ready for this, but obviously it's coming because she's in her 3rd trimester now, and she realizes that there really is no turning back now. And so she is starting to kind of freak out about the fact that they're going to have a baby soon. And she is really thinking, I've really got to get on board with this pregnancy sooner rather than later. And if I'm going to get to a place where I can make peace with this, I kind of need to go ahead and do that now. Because obviously I don't want the baby to get here and me to be bitter about the fact that the baby's here. And so she's going to go ahead and she's going to go, and we're going to let her discover the gender of the baby. And we are going to let her obviously go to counseling again and see if that helps her out any at all. And then she can maybe get something for the baby. I'm just trying to, you know, send her for a bunch of different little classes here so that she can obviously go ahead and get used to the baby here, and the fact that she is having a child, and unfortunately she's having some trouble. I'm sending her off to go get some craved food, which seems to have helped her with her cravings that she's having, which is lovely. We definitely love that. And she's going to go ahead and go to an early parenthood class. And as you can see, Dean is just kind of sleeping away while she's taking all of these courses. And, you know, it's helping her out. She is feeling really tense about the fact that she is having to take these classes alone, because he's not really involved with these classes. He isn't really interested in taking them. And she's really, having to do these things alone because he's like, I'm not really interested because I just don't really want to go to them. I don't think that I'm ready for this child, and I'm not ready to go to these classes. I'm not ready to go to this counseling for this. And she's like, well, how are we going to accept this child if we don't do this? And he's like, that's just it. I'm not ready to make peace with it. And he's like, if you're ready to do that, then by all means go. And she's like, I'm not necessarily ready to make peace with it either, but I feel like I kind of have to. Like, this baby's growing inside of me at an alarming rate. And so that's why she is, kind of putting her all into it. And she's really putting in a lot of effort to try to make peace with this pregnancy because she knows that, she's a mother, and at the end of the day, she wants to be able to have a bond with her child. And she's like, I'm going to need to be able to bond with this baby. He, on the other hand, doesn't really feel that motherly instinct that he's going to need to have this bond. And he's like, whatever, over time, I'll build a bond with our baby, and it'll be fine. And she's like, okay, that's fine, and you do you, kind of thing. So she's just going to go ahead and grab herself a little bit to eat here, and then we're going to head her off to bed. It is really, really early in the morning. It's about 3 a.m., and we are going to let her get a little bit of rest. She is really, really tense. She's desperate for fun. So I am going to just let her get a little bit of rest here. She obviously needs to go ahead and go to the washroom. And so we're just going to let her go ahead and take care of some of her needs here. And then we will allow her to go ahead and maybe go back to another counseling class in the morning when she wakes. And then she can try again to make a little bit more peace with this pregnancy. So I just want her obviously getting a little bit more rest here. All right, come up here, Siobhan, and get yourself a little bit of rest. Just going to have her come up and talk a little bit about her relationship fears with Dean a little bit more. And then we will let her get a little bit of sleep. And she can obviously discuss with him a little bit about the baby. And she's just going to tell him, that she is really struggling with the fact that she is not ready for this baby to be here either. And she's like, I keep going to all these classes and I don't know that they're necessarily helping. And he's like, well, I kind of could have told you that, and she's like, well, what do you mean? And he's like, if you're not ready for this baby to come, you can go to all the classes in the world and you're not going to be ready for this baby to come. And she's like, well, that's not very positive of you. And he's like, I'm just trying to be honest. And she's like, I'm just trying to do the right thing. And he's like, and I can, tell you that that's really honorable that you're trying to do that. But at the end of the day, if you're not ready, you're just not ready. So I'm going to go ahead. We're going to send her out to counseling. He is going to go in here and I'm going to have him work on a little bit of programming. He needs to do that for his aspiration. He wants to work on programming for 5 hours. So we're going to go ahead and let him practice some programming. While she is at her counseling, he can go ahead and just do that. And we will just let them go ahead and work on these things. She is working really, really hard to try to come to terms with this baby. And he's like, I'm just going to work on what I need to do for my, personal life building skills, And she's like very sad from the pregnancy right now. But she is really trying hard to give it her all, even though she's really, really struggling right now. And she really feels not like she's not supported. Like, she knows that he feels exactly the same about the pregnancy that she does. Like, she knows that he's not necessarily wanting this baby either. But at the end of the day, she's at least trying. He's not even trying. It says here that she can finally make peace with the baby, so we're going to let her go ahead and do that. So we're going to have her make peace with the baby, and she unfortunately is going to pass out here. She's so exhausted. So it looks like she has gone ahead and made peace with the baby here, and we love that for her. She finally was able to get enough classes under her belt and counseling under her belt, that she has finally gone and made peace with the baby. And she's like, finally, I think I can do this. And so it says here that she has made peace with the baby, and that she has decided that she can make it through this. She knows it's going to be hard. She knows that she's going to have her hands full, and that especially being a teen mom, that it's going to be difficult for her raising a baby, but she thinks that she's got this and she is prepared. She's gone to the birthing classes. She's gone to the parent class. She's gone to her counseling. She's feeling like she can really handle this. She is hoping that Dean will come around and he will be able to accept the baby once it's here. And she's hoping that, if that is the case and he can accept the baby, that they will be okay and that they can, be a happy little family. And, that obviously is something that she wants for them, especially now that she has accepted this pregnancy. She's like, I'm finally, okay with this. I wouldn't say I'm necessarily happy about it, but I am at least okay with this. And so because I'm okay with it, I would like for us to be able to be happy. So she is just going to go ahead and, take care of a little bit of her needs here. He is just finishing up on his programming here. Says he's born to code. He likes programming. We're going to let him do that. I'm just going to let him get a little bit of sleep here. She is going to go ahead and get something to eat and then get herself some sleep as well. It looks like she's trying to clean the toilet here. I really appreciate your trying to do that, but I really do think that you need to go ahead and get something to eat. You are feeling quite hungry here, Siobhan. So I'm just going to have her go down and grab herself a little bit to eat here, and then she needs to get some rest and probably get herself a little bit of a bath. She keeps wanting to clean everything, though. It's her OCD is kicking in, obviously. But we will go ahead and let her just get something to eat here. She's like, no, I'm just so tired. No, I realize, but you really do need to get something to eat. And just like that, she's gone into labor. Okay, go get yourself something to eat, and then we can go ahead and head you off to the hospital, and we can go have the baby. So we'll let you get some food in you at the very least. And then it's time for us to head off to the hospital, because it is time for us to go ahead and, have this baby. She is going to go ahead and ask Dean to go with her to the hospital, or have Dean at least go with her to the hospital. I don't know how much of a participant he will be in that, because she didn't ask him to accompany her to the hospital and to be there during the childbirth, because she knows that he is, actually not really trying to be that supportive role for her, because he's not happy about this baby. And so she's like, I know I'm kind of going to be doing this on my own. Even though he's my husband, I kind of know that he's not really in a happy place about this. But she does still want him to take her to the hospital and at least go with her. But to be completely honest, I completely forgot to ask him to accompany her to the hospital. So he'll go with us, but he won't be there in the room when she gives birth. So we're going to go, and we have arrived at the hospital here, and she is fully in labor now, and she is ready to go ahead and start with this baby. We're just going to go ahead and ask the doctor to check on the baby for us, and we will go ahead and start this labor here, and we will hope that it's not going to take her forever to have this baby. But as we know, sometimes these things do take a little while. She is desperate for some hygiene and some rest. So after the doctor checks the baby, we'll probably let her go on in there and just get a little bit of rest on the exam table there. And it says that the doctor couldn't necessarily feel anything as far as the baby's movements, but that everything's probably okay and to not be alarmed. So we're just going to have her go on in here and recline on the exam bed and get a little bit of sleep. So we'll have her get a little bit of rest here, and then we will have her, once she wakes up, exercise on this ball here, and hopefully that will get our dilation up a little bit. And then once we do that, we will go ahead and have the doctor check her dilation. So let's just go ahead and fast forward through here and let her get a little bit of sleep, and then we will exercise once she wakes. All right, so we have Siobhan up. She is disgusting. Like, she is so dirty. I'm going to have her do a little bit of exercising here on this ball, and then maybe we can take her into the washroom and she can just wash her hands and brush her teeth and things like that and get up a little bit of hygiene. There isn't a shower here in this hospital, so there's no way for her to get her hygiene up otherwise. So we're just going to let her exercise a little bit, and then I'm going to have her come in here and brush her teeth, wash her hands, maybe apply a facial cleanser, and that will get her hygiene up a little bit. And Rebecca is calling, asking us out. I'm sorry, we can't right now. We are literally in active labor. So we would love to, but we literally just can't. So we're gonna just go ahead and get our hygiene up here, and then once that's done, we're gonna have her go ahead and go back over here and do some more exercising. And she will get some more exercising on the ball. And then once she is done with exercising on the ball this one last time, we're going to have her go and ask the doctor to check her dilation and see how far along we are as far as our dilation goes, so that we can find out how much longer we need to do this. But she says she feels like she's in safe hands, and she's glad she chose to give birth at the hospital, knowing that the doctors are nearby makes her have some peace of mind, and that her pain is increasing, but she knows she's in safe hands, so that's really good. So we're gonna go ahead, come on in here and ask the doctor to come and check our dilation. Oh no, she's passed out. Okay. Let's do that though. When she gets up, we'll have them check her dilation, and her dad's calling. Okay. Dad, I am a little busy. But she's going to talk to her dad for a minute, and she's like, I'm in labor. And he's like, oh my gosh. And she's like, yeah, totally. So doctor's going to come in. We're just going to go ahead and get our dilation checked here. And then, of course, we'll know how far along we are and if baby's ready. And, of course, Mom's now calling. Annika's calling, and she's like, hey, honey, you never visit anymore. And she's like, Mom, I'm really, like, I'm in the middle of labor. And she's like, fine, I guess you're too busy. And, of course, once again, we're going to pass out. But it does look like we are fully dilated. So once she gets up from being passed out, we're going to go in here, and we're going to go and give birth to this baby. So let's go ahead, and we will give birth. Obviously, we want Dean to come in here, but like I said, he is not going to stay because he's not going to accompany us and be a part of this because she didn't ask him to accompany her during the childbirth. So he's not necessarily going to stay for this. He may come in here just to kind of see what's going on, but he won't hold her hand or anything like that. So she is just going ahead and pushing and giving birth to the baby now. He's like starving. Dean's like, oh my gosh, I'm really hungry. And she's like, don't talk to me about this right now. I am in, like, can you not see that I'm pushing a child out? And he's like, yeah. And so she's pushing, and it's a boy. Okay, great. What are we going to name this boy? We are going to name this boy Mateo. All right, so this is Mateo Montez. And let's go ahead and let Mateo enter into the world here. We're just going to push him out this last little bit. And Mateo has arrived. And as you can see, Siobhan is super happy to have Mateo here. She is thrilled that she finally has him. Like I said, she had made peace with this pregnancy, and so she is really happy to have him here. And she's thinking, this is going to be such a good journey for us, and I hope that your dad will come to terms with you as well, and I hope he will accept you. And we are going to go ahead, we're going to send everyone home, and little Mateo is already at the house, so we'll send Dean home, and then we'll send Siobhan home. It looks like she is about to pass out again, unfortunately. She is just, really going through it. Oh my gosh, the poor dear. But once she gets up from being passed out, we will go ahead, we'll send her on to the house, and then we will see little Mateo once he is at the home, and we'll get her to go ahead and take care of him here, which will be fantastic. So go ahead and get up there, Siobhan, and let's head on home. So she's just going to go ahead and get herself headed onto the house here, and we will go see our little Mateo, and we will go and give him a little feed and things of that nature. So now that we have arrived back at the house, we are just going to go ahead and go on upstairs, and we are going to take care of little Mateo. We're going to just send Siobhan upstairs to give him a little bit of a feed, and we're going to let her just love on him and take care of him, and we love that for her. She is then going to need to take care of her needs a little bit. She's feeling really, really tired, as we know, so she will have to go ahead and get herself into bed for the night. And we are just about to enter into 2008, so we have made it a full year here. So we are doing pretty good with time here, which is fantastic. So she is just giving him a little bit of love here, giving him a little bit of a feed. And she's going to go ahead and head on to bed. She is coming down with a little bit of a cold. So I think that we will have to keep an eye on that as well, because if she continues on with that, we may have to send her to the doctor. But she's going to head on to the bedroom now and get herself a little bit of rest. And I am going to send Dean up here and let him come and at least meet Mateo, since he wasn't in the delivery room. I mean, he is feeling a little bit tense because the baby's been, finally here. And so he's tense now. I mean, he wasn't tense throughout the pregnancy because the baby wasn't here. But now that the baby's actually here, he's feeling pretty tense. But I am going to have him come and at least attempt to bond with Mateo and try to, just get him to build a little bit of a relationship with his son. And I want him to at least try to accept Mateo into the family. I know that he's struggling with the fact that he has a son now, but I do want him to at least try, because Siobhan definitely wants that for him as well. And so he is trying, but unfortunately he is, really having trouble here. It says he's struggling with interacting with an unwanted child, and he has a thing here where it says he does not want to attempt to bond. He doesn't want to interact with the baby right now. So I am going to make him still go ahead and just cuddle this baby just one more time and at least build up a little bit of a relationship with the baby, so that the next time we attempt to bond with him, maybe it will work. And then I will go ahead and let him go off to bed as well, because it is getting really, really late. And then we will go ahead and let all of the family will go ahead and get a little bit of rest here. And then it will be 2008 in the morning. And we'll be able to go ahead and pretty much close up shop here for this episode, because as we know, we will do 2008 in the next episode. But it looks like Siobhan is just getting a little bit of much needed rest. But now Mateo has woken up and he is crying and he is needing his mama. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead. We're going to get Siobhan to get up, and she's going to just come in here and take care of Mateo here. Obviously, Dean is like, would you make that baby shut up? And she's like, don't be like that, please. He's just a little one. And he's like, I know, but all he does is cry. And she's like, well, that's what babies do, is cry. So I am just going to have her just go ahead and love on little Mateo and take care of little Mateo here. And she's going to try to figure out what's wrong with him and what it is that he needs. It is officially 2008, so I am going to go ahead and leave this episode here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you are notified when new episodes go live on the channel. And I will see you guys in our next episode of our Decades Legacy Challenge, where we will continue on with the Montez family and seeing if Dean is able to attempt to bond with Mateo and get up his relationship with him and actually accept him into the family and is willing to, love him and bond with him. But until next time, I'm going to go ahead and fly for now. Bye, Ravens.